everyone, and welcome to the final video of the series where I, Brady Hills, tackle mental illnesses that commonly found in kids and how they affect your child as they develop and learn. Then today we'll be covering the final disorder, which is anxiety disorders. The term anxiety disorder actually refers to specific psychiatric disorders that involve extreme fear or worry. And this generalized term includes generalized anxiety disorder, otherwise known as GAD, panic disorder and panic attacks, social anxiety disorder, separation anxiety, and specific phobias. I won't be covering all of the anxiety disorders today because we don't have that much time, but I will be covering the ones that are mainly important in a school setting, especially in teenagers. So sadly, I will not be covering separation anxiety, since that will be mainly found in kids, like younger than teenage age. So we're going to start off with panic disorder, which is repeated anxiety attacks, which causes a wave of worry to flood the person all at once, and it's sudden and it attacks like very intensely, and then it's gone as soon as it came. And this leaves the person in fear of another attack occurring when they least expect it. So they expect it, and then they get extremely worried. And then when they finally calm down and they least expect it, it hits them, and then the cycle starts again. Social anxiety disorder, which is very common in school setting. I know a lot of people in my grade have social anxiety disorder. This is the fear of public humiliation by other classmates or society in general, and this leads the person to be very closed off. They'll be very nervous to go to events such as school dances or pep rallies. They'll be very nervous when talking to other kids or adults, and they won't want to involve themselves in fear of being humiliated. I covered obsessive compulsive disorder in another video, but to give a brief summary, it is obsessive doubting that leads to compulsive checking, which is like obsessively worrying over if you did a specific task, and then checking to make sure you did it, and cycle repeats. Finally, at least in this setting, I will be covering generalized anxiety disorder, and this is very common, and it's classified as persistent, uncontrollable worrying for at least 6 months. And this can lead to tension, insomnia, hypervigilance. This generally leaves the person to be very tense. They're always on alert. They're worried if something's going to happen. They always think something bad's going to happen. And this can lead to their sleeping schedule being affected negatively. And they're always super vigilant and always on high alert. So how does this affect your child or classmate? Well, the effects are similar to the ones I covered in the last 3 videos, but it's the same. And it covers the anxiety disorder effects on kids in a school setting. They will have trouble paying attention during class because they'll be so worried and obsessively overanalyzing everything during class. They will not be paying attention to the teacher because they're worried that the other classmates are either judging them, or they didn't do or if they didn't do that, and they're worried that they need to do this thing now so that they can cure their anxiety, but this leads to anxiety later on because they weren't paying attention in class, and it's a vicious cycle. They will struggle with completing homework, classwork, projects, and testing quizzes because of this thought process as well, especially if you have social anxiety disorder, because you'll be worried that everyone else is judging you while you're taking a test or doing your homework. And it will also be difficult for them to participate in group projects and in class activities because, again, they don't want to be humiliated, so they just stay silent and not involve themselves in the group whatsoever because they don't want to be humiliated by the other members of the group. And finally, anyone who has anxiety disorder will definitely struggle with making friends and close relationships because they're very closed off overanalyzing everything and very worried, and they will don't want to be humiliated in the case of social anxiety disorder. So what can you do to help your child while they struggle with anxiety disorder? Well, what you can do is tell your child what to worry and not worry about. This brings their anxiety down bit by bit because they now know what they should worry about and what they shouldn't worry about. An important thing to do is support your child and help them understand anxiety itself. Supporting your child is definitely the most helpful thing you can do because they will need it. And go from what if to what is. That means is basically a lot of thought process when someone has an anxiety disorder is what if this happens? What if this happened? If only. Go from if to is and let their child know what is going to happen. Instead of having them focus on if something will happen, let them focus on something that is going to happen. Alright, this concludes the series. If you haven't checked the last 3 videos, please do so. I hope you are all safe. Thank you for watching the video. This is Brady Hills signing off.